Hey, this is Mike Herrera. You're listening to Magnified Pod.
This is a yelling podcast. From poking at you to plans and everything in between, this is Magnified Pod, the only podcast that discusses culture, religion, politics, and the entire discography of everyone's favorite left coast punks, MxPx. And we're back.
Yeah, we are.
John, do you feel different?
I feel a little different.
I feel a little different.
Who was that beautiful voice at the beginning of the show?
You know what? You don't have to know who the voice is because he says his name.
That is correct.
Correct.
Nonetheless,
yeah, that is our boy Mike Herrera,
our new soulmate.
Yep, we are now bonded for eternity.
Bonded by the Brotherhood of God and true. Beer boots.
Yes, yeah, we had the good fortune of being able to meet him, Mike, for the first time this past week at the Punktoberfest put on by 350 Brewing down in Tinley Park, Illinois.
Super fun.
It was, yeah, we're going to get into
we will.
All the shenanigans and everything that went, well, not all of it.
No, probably not all of it.
No, not all of it. But it was a solid event. I was there for somewhere between 11 and 11 and a half hours.
You're there a long time.
I was there for quite a few minutes.
I was there for less minutes, and Mike busted my balls about it all night long.
Yeah, we'll get into some of that too. But first, John, hey, so hold up. I'm Andrew.
Oh, yeah.
Introduction. I'm Andrew.
I'm John.
This is John. This is our podcast. And this is another banner day.
Yeah, it is.
In the MxPx sphere, because they're it's like, I feel like every other week there's something new they're dropping, and just today, well, I guess last night technically.
Yeah. We're recording on Wednesday the 10th.
Yes, Wednesday, October 10th. They dropped the Best Life EP.
Yeah, they did.
So 4 tracks. 2 of them are new songs, Best Life and The Band Plays As We Go Down, and then 2 acoustic versions of the songs off the self-titled, Let's Ride and Moments Like This.
Yep. They sent out the email with the acoustic EP, which neither of us got.
Nope.
But then minutes later, sent out another email to everybody with the Best Life EP surprise and a video link as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, I woke up to this very excited.
Yeah.
And so, what would you like to talk about first?
Should we get right into it? Should we listen to the new jams?
Yeah, why don't we take a listen to Best Life and just a little bit of it, and then we can kind of talk about the music video.
Make me an offer I can't refuse. Send out an angel and bring 'em a booze. Even 4 hearts get the blues. That's our way, win or lose.
These are the times I'm living for. Right? These are the times I'm living for.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, yeah.
So many distractions, so little time. Go with that urge to sit back and recline. When the sunset turns red, we drink wine. Dance all night, lose our minds. Here's to the best life. Here's to you. This and the next world, divided in two. Here's to the loved ones.
It's really fun.
It is fun. I actually would have been perfectly happy if this was on the album.
Yeah, I mean, it feels a little bit set apart from the other tracks. And it's kind of like this rowdy drinking song that has a little bit of a different feel.
It is. It is. I mean, but when you look at the video,
Yeah.
I mean, they recorded it at the
Yeah.
that one of those, I think the Kickstarter.
Right. I wonder if they had planned
parts.
to put it on the album at some point, or
I don't know, but I mean, they were obviously. It wasn't just like a compilation. They were performing it at the campfire.
yeah. I was thinking it would have been it would be a fun live acoustic song. And since we saw Mike play a bunch of drinking songs and acoustic songs recently,
Sure.
I was like, ooh, that would have been a really good one. But he didn't want to spoil anything.
And I think the point is to play this to coincide with the release
of the beer.
of the Best Life IPA, which they will be doing this weekend, this Friday tonight, LOL, October 12th in Bremerton at the historic Roxy Theater. Mm-hmm. And John, we have some of those Best Life IPAs coming our way, son.
So excited. Mike talked extensively about the brewing technique.
He did, and he kind of went on and on about how
on and on.
just wouldn't shut the fuck up. I'm like, God, we get it.
It's got hops, but not too many.
No, it like hearing Mike talk about it got me pretty excited, and it looked like I'd seen a picture that Tom had posted. Like, it looks like he had a whole trunk.
Oh, yeah.
Trunk full of it.
I am excited.
Yep.
Whatever beer company is looking for a song for an ad campaign should definitely use Best Life. I don't know if Silver City can afford a commercial campaign, but like somebody should definitely use this as like a drink some beers with your friends and let's all hang out. It's like a great song for that.
Especially like, you know, if you want to have the best life, you drink our beer.
Have the best life with Silver City Brewing. Or something.
No, that's perfect. I think you should do the ad. All you need to do is drop your voice a couple octaves. Do you want to have the best life?
Oh, that's better. That's better.
Wrangle up a couple of your friends and crack open an ice cold Best Life IPA.
Go to a bonfire.
Go to a bonfire, you dumbass. Bring along some stupid acoustic guitar and drink beer like a dumbass.
Why is this so mean all of a sudden?
I don't know. That's I guess that's how the commercial I would make. Just ridiculing
jerk life.
Bitch life.
Speaking of the bonfire,
Yeah.
That video looked fun as hell.
It did.
I'm jealous of those people.
Yeah. And while I pull up the dude who...
Jake Gravbrat?
Yes. That's
AKA Walk Into the Light on Instagram.
Walk Into the Light, yep. He did at least one of the other music videos.
He co-directed The Way We Do with our boy, Brian Buchel.
Brian B. Bremerton Bry.
He's also done lots of video. Different one.
Yeah.
He's also done lots of video and photo stuff for them over the years, but I think this was his first full directing cred.
Yeah, that's what he said, that it was his... and he didn't even know that it was dropping today.
Right.
So, but I really liked it.
Yeah,
I liked
super fun.
The aesthetic. And wherever this took place...
Somewhere near Bremerton, I believe.
Yeah. Looks like on a ranch of some kind.
It's pretty great.
It looks pretty amazing. Looks beautiful.
That's how I imagine life in Washington, just like drinking great beer and smoking weed in a campfire. Like backpacking and then chilling.
What the hell are we doing
I know,
here?
I'm like, staring out at some cornfields or whatever here.
Yeah. Well, I'm for it. I appreciated the song quite a bit.
Yeah, it was really good.
Typically when an EP drops, it's like, oh, I could give or take a song, but I feel like this I feel like this knowing how much Mike writes, I can assume that there's a plethora of songs that didn't make the cut.
Yeah.
And they didn't use this opportunity to just like throw
Dump
a bunch
them
of
all.
filler on there or anything. So this EP is kind of the self-titled version of an EP.
Yeah.
It's like pared down,
Totally.
bare bones, not just kind of, it's not a kitchen sink kind of EP where it's all the scraps or anything.
Right. Yeah,
'Cause
they're
I
very
think,
solid.
I think the two songs they have on here are really solid. So let's check out a piece of The Band Plays As We All Go Down.
We all got problems like dragging around chains. A bloodthirst for vengeance goes well with the pain. I'm closing my eyes, can't believe I'm surprised. How many times I've been fooled by the lies. That's in the best, yeah, or so I have thought. That ugly head reared up so often I caught. That agent of chaos may cook a bite hand. There are no survivors, don't misunderstand. The band plays as we all go down. The band plays as we all go down.
Pretty good.
Fist Pumper.
Yeah. I feel like it has very much the sound of the album. Like
It
the
does.
drums sound so good. I
Yeah.
love the guitar tone.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
Good
it
stuff.
does very much sound like the remainder or the rest of the album. So I don't think, I'm assuming this was done
yeah.
at the same.
I would think so.
At the same time.
I would say it's probably not quite up to most of the album for me, but I still really like it.
Right. I will say that I'm happy with the choices. Like I do think rounding it out to a 12 song if I had to choose between, that Best Life,
Yeah.
even though the tone might be a little, I mean, Mike talks about drinking from a flask on the
Yeah.
album, so it's not like it's
Sure.
uncharted waters or anything
Yeah.
like that. But
I feel like it would either be an opener or a closer, and I just would not want to part
Replace.
with Rolling Stronger moments like this
Yeah.
as those.
I agree.
Also, shout out to our buddy Riker.
Yeah,
for calling it.
Riker called it hard. I think this was 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, a while ago.
I think so. That he left a voicemail asking us if we could name, in light of the Best Life IPA coming out and it having the IPA can having the same poking at your punk image. He thought if the self-titled record had a name, that he thought Best Life would be a good choice.
Right.
And I was like, oh yeah, that is actually a really good title. Little did we know, he's got his finger on the pulse of
The MxPx Pulse.
the MxPx Pulse. He nailed it. So kudos,
Yeah,
Riker.
we salute you.
This beer's for you.
This
You want to
Best Life.
hang out with your best bud, Riker? Then grab a Best Life.
Riker, we got news for you.
You're all right by us. I don't know. It's like we're southern and gravelly.
Yeah.
It's we sort of sound like what's his name? He's
Sam Elliott. That's
Sam
who I'm-
Elliott.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm picturing.
Except I don't think I could get that low.
You kind of got to push your mustache out of your lips to get the full.
Yeah, I don't have. Yeah, to get the Sam Elliott, you need to be masculine enough to grow a mustache, which I cannot.
Well, you
womp womp. He was on Stephen Colbert last. I think it was I think it was this week, actually, earlier this week or last week, and Stephen Colbert described Sam Elliott's voice as a hot cup of coffee.
That's
And
perfect.
like that's oh god, that is such a beautiful image because it's so true. Just listening to him speak, you're just like you feel instantly like wrapped
just
in
warmed up.
just wrapped in a mustache blanket.
The best kind of blanket.
That actually kind of sounds like some sort of
Sex move.
sex position. I'm gonna,
And then out of nowhere, he gives me a mustache blanket. I'm like, what the hell, bro?
what the hell? I did not consent to the mustache blanket.
Oh boy.
Oh boy,
You're off the rails
We
already.
this is already going a little off. So two things before we get too much further.
Yeah.
There's somebody I would like to invite.
Oh boy. Yeah, he should have popped out earlier. Hey, who's that?
This is the Poking at Your Punk.
Finally.
Finally,
In the flesh. In the plush.
in the plush. Yeah, I didn't get my.
He's not the actual one.
He's not.
that you're owed.
No, he's not the one that I purchased forever ago. But
No.
I couldn't go to the show and not pick him up.
Yeah.
So
He wasn't free either.
no. John, we did pay for some things at the show, but we were.
Mike offered us drinks. That's
true.
something.
That
I'll
is
take
true.
it.
He that was was that the first or the second time we said we needed to go and then proceeded to stay for like an extra hour and a half.
I said goodbye like 5 times.
Yeah.
It was late
Yeah.
for Dad.
But can I also just say that like I thought like when we were about to leave, you know, Mike was like, "Hey, have you guys had any water? Do you need some water?"
That was nice.
And then he like went on this mission to try and find us
Yeah.
some water.
That was cool.
And then he's like, "Do you want a LaCroix? They have some LaCroix." So
Yeah.
he came back with a couple, and then we were talking about the LaCroix lawsuit.
Yeah, that was like another hour and a half.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. But let's
We're looking at the punk now.
we're looking at the punk. He's smiling at me.
Blessing this
Yeah.
space.
So in the spirit of sitting around a campfire, in the spirit of the Best Life IPA coming out soon, and the Punktoberfest that we just went to, which we're going to talk about, John, why don't we crack open this 350 autumn spiced beer called Don't Pick Up Hitchhikers. It's wax covered. Mm-hmm. It's got what looks like some sort of a superhero serial killer. Well, he's like looks like he's wearing some sort of superhero costume because he's got a hood and he's like all
murder
jacked.
costume.
Yeah. But he's holding a knife behind his back.
Right.
But he's not doing a very good job concealing it because you can very much see it over his shoulder. But it's got leaves,
It does.
so it's very fall.
Yes.
So let's crack.
This is going to be tough with the wax on
Yeah,
there.
the wax is going to be. You know what? Let me.
I'll vamp.
Yeah.
One
Doing
of
a
my
great job.
we enjoyed.
God, how much wax is on here?
Sometimes you gotta kind of cut the wax down.
Yeah. I gotta.
I have a can opener.
This is great.
We enjoyed many fine beers at 350, which is an establishment I fully endorse. We had multiple Oktoberfest beers. They were sold in big boot cups that you could take home.
Which I did, which is why I got this. In the first place, I paid for the Punktober Pass, which came with a boot cup filled with a beer and this limited edition beer that I can't
Which we'll taste someday, maybe.
Yeah.
Let's just chip away at it throughout the episode.
By the end of the 2 hours, it'll be nice and warm. That's how I enjoy most of my beers.
So they
They're
350.
making me work for it. Jesus. God.
It's getting tough in here.
How did Andrew lose his fingers? I see cap.
Oh yes, you got a full cap.
God.
Do you want me to get some other tools?
I'm committed to this now.
I'll keep vamping. 350 has a small production facility that they've had for a while, and so they used to have these annual fests where they'd have punk bands play. They'd hold it at a convention center near there, but now they've just expanded to have their own big factory where they're going to be canning and bottling a lot of stuff and distributing it, so you'll be able to find it at least in the Chicagoland area near you soon.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. But I honestly don't want to have to drive down to Tinley Park anytime I want to get a beer.
Yeah.
So if you're outside of, the south of Chicago, it's like a commitment.
Yeah. I've been asking at liquor stores for a while. Well, since the Pocanatcha beer, if anybody carries any 350, and it's very unusual for that to happen. Oh, I see like half a cap there.
I know, right?
It's coming soon. You can taste the autumnal notes.
Did you hear that?
That sounded beautiful.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This is, oh my God.
I enjoyed some.
Yes.
Ooh.
Success.
Cap is off, folks. Well done. You earned it.
I did. I don't know why I just didn't pull up from this bottom part right here.
Because it was fun watching you struggle.
Thank you.
No.
All right.
Yeah,
how about some ASMR? John, why don't you whisper?
Andrew is now pouring the delicious autumnal beverage into the glass. It's filling up nicely. There's some good foam on there.
Now I'm going to pour one for John.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Just going to slowly pour from the bottle into the glass without getting as much foam as maybe I did on mine.
We will not swish around on our teeth this up.
We won't feel it over our teeth.
350 Brewing.
You don't feel it over
you don't feel it over your
You don't
teeth.
feel it over your teeth.
Best life. You don't feel it over your teeth. This looks wonderful.
It does.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
To Punktoberfest forever.
Punktoberfest and 350 Brewing put on a hell of a show.
Now, I kind of bullshitted my way through the wine app, but I can say with a little more
Wow.
legitimacy some things about beer. Has a very nice hue here. It's dark, but not too dark.
Yeah. I'd say it's got like a little bit of a reddish.
Ooh,
Right?
that is much sweeter than I expected.
It is sweeter than I expected, which probably means it's going to pack a little bit of a punch without us knowing.
I think so. Oh, that's good though.
Yeah.
Complex notes in there.
Yeah.
Interesting mouthfeel.
Yeah, it's smoother. It
Yeah.
doesn't really, it's really sweet and malty.
Yeah.
And not like,
Can I see that real quick?
yeah. I enjoy it. This is good. I think they were selling them, individually for like $12 a bottle or something, which is not a terrible price.
No, it's not
for
crazy. For a 12.5% ABV autumn spiced barley wine.
Yeah. It's
Real good.
yeah, I dig it. Well done, 350.
Yeah.
Oh, I also want to shout out from 350. I think her name was
Brittany.
Was it Brittany?
Yeah.
Yeah, Brittany. She
Cool as hell.
yeah,
Offered us beers throughout the night.
Brittany Mack, I think is maybe her name.
Her boyfriend is one of the brewers there.
Yeah. She was really cool. She was helping us out at the end of the night and chatting with us, and I think you'll hear a little bit of Brittany later. I think it was Brittany when we get into some of the audio, because I did a little podcasting while we were there at Punktoberfest. So
Should we, do we want to listen to the acoustic ones off the EP at all? Or should we consider those already?
yeah, let's take because Mike played this
Yep.
at the Punktoberfest.
This would be Let's Ride. This was one of my favorites from the set. I thought it transitioned perfectly to an acoustic version.
Time that I turned 14, I got a job doing landscaping. Those days were long and my old boss was me. About the time that I turned 16, I got a car, no place to be. I'd fill up the tank and drive out to the sea. The Rockies ain't too far from here.
I don't know who's doing the backup vocals, but
It sounds like Tom.
I think it is Tom.
The cold air will do you
His voice is pretty distinct.
Yeah. It sounds great, though.
so let's ride.
He comes back, it's Chris.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, it's very distinct. Fucking idiot.
I really like this version, though. I think it sounds really good. This was a fun one to hear acoustic.
Yep, I like it. Let's check out Moments Like This, which he did not play.
I did not play this one. It was kind of
a. It would have been kind of a bummer.
sure.
Like everybody there having a good time,
Yeah,
drinking.
that's true. Nothing about him dying.
His children mourning his loss, their loss of him.
Don't you ever lose heart. Keep the fire burning a flame.
I think this worked really well too, though, as a transition.
Don't call me crazy.
Like as a
It's just
translation
the
to
way
an
it
acoustic
always
version. I think it works well.
Yeah,
It's moments like this.
it's very sparse.
Stripped down, yeah. But I think it works.
I think it works for the song
Yeah,
to have it be like very minimal.
right. There's no violins, and I'm trying to think of
The
really-
best life as produced by Aaron Sprinkle.
Well, I was listening to the AC EP, which
Yeah.
we'll get into at some point.
Yeah,
But there's some questionable production on that one, in my opinion. Fresh off of Before Everything and After, there's a lot of like, because it's acoustic, we'll throw in some strings here and some and
yeah. Acoustic needs to mean sappy,
yeah.
which it doesn't.
You don't need timpani. Boom, boom. Anyway, yeah, good stuff. I think those are good choices
Yep.
for acoustic versions.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. And as I crammed and tweeted today, it feels really good to be an MxPx fan in 2018.
Totally.
They're really delivering solid material and engaging with the fans in a way that I feel like most bands probably don't, you know? Like
for sure.
Mike doesn't know us from Adam, but it's that he would the way the band treats the fans, I think it says a lot about them. And
I mean, he knew our names.
he did know our names.
He made specific references to episodes that he could only have known from listening, like, fairly deep into some of them.
Yeah.
But yes, anyway, your larger point.
My larger point is that Mike is a good dude. And you know what? Let's
Getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, getting ahead of ourselves, getting into our Punktober segment. But let's take a moment to moments like this to talk about some of the voicemails and the question of the week. Mm-hmm. The
QOT dubs.
Yep. So let's first get into some voicemails relating to our last episode. We have one here. Who's Daniel Stair?
Never heard of the guy.
I've never heard of this guy, but he has some thoughts about our last episode.
What's up, boys? It's your dude Dan Stairs. Calling some bad news. The Silver City in St. Clairsville is a good 3-hour drive, and I love you guys. I don't love you 3-hour drives there. Well, 6 hours. Put me on the car for Sam Goody. I don't.
So basically, as Daniel mumbles through this message, what he's saying is we were talking about the Sam Goody in the last episode that's in Ohio, and we told him he should go check it out because Goody's got it. He lives in Ohio, and he says it's like a 3-hour drive for him. So
I don't love you that much.
he doesn't love us that much.
I would love to help you out with something else sometime, as long as a little closer, a little less of my time. But I can send you guys a link to the directions. You are welcome to drive there from Chicago.
That's not helpful. I can do that myself. But he has another comment.
Anyhow, I didn't really catch what your final question of the week was. Because you kind of sort of said the thing about the movies, with the parties, but then you said, no, not really that, and then something else. You said,
Check
no,
that
not
Instagram,
that.
bro.
So I don't really know what the question of the week is, so if you put it up somewhere on social media, I'll call back and give you my hot take on that question. Other than that, have a good week, guys.
Two things I'd like to note. He did not end with Magnified Pod for Life.
Which, as we said, is our
that's
preferred sign-off from all these
Strike
voicemails.
Tuesday.
Yeah. Ooh, one more.
And
Thin ice, buddy.
the second is, guess who didn't respond to the question of the week on our Instagram?
Oh, wow.
So
left us hanging there.
Left us hanging. So you're calling us out, and looks like joke's on you.
Looking at a map here, it appears to be closer to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, than to Columbus or Cleveland or anything. So maybe our Pennsylvania listeners can help us out.
Yeah, if there's any Pennsylvania listeners want to hit up that Sam Goody in, what was it?
St. Clairsville.
St. Clairsville, Ohio.
The place to be. Mall Ring Road.
That's right. Yeah, Mall Road. Get your Sam Goody wares, I guess.
Yeah, what do they sell there?
What has Goody got these days?
Unclear. I would like to know.
I am very unclear. So, if anybody know anything about Goody, tell us what Goody's got.
Yeah, let us know.
On to the next voicemail. This is someone making a comment about our conversations about movie parties, specifically about the cable guy scene that we referenced.
Hey guys, don't forget about the party scene in Cable Guy where it was, the karaoke scene. I'm pretty sure he was referencing that. I don't know.
I think
That's
he's
my
right.
thoughts on it.
I think that's correct. I can't really remember. So this is the same mysterious
dude.
gentleman
Yep.
who recommended a Descendants tour last pod.
Yeah.
Well, mystery man.
He may be right, but I'd like to think that porno password is what Mike had in mind.
Yeah, I think maybe it's the same segment.
I don't remember.
There's definitely multiple people involved when
you saw this in the theater with your 11, 12, 13-year-old girlfriend.
13, yeah.
13.
My godless girlfriend. Off to descending into hell with each day.
See you in hell. Where do you remember her name?
I do. Juliet.
Probably
not a listener.
Well, she should be. I mean, after she learned that you were in Tiger Jack in high school, she should have.
In my defense, I did like a couple years later apologize and be like, "Hey, that wasn't cool," and we kind of rekindled a friendship. So,
okay.
She's like a baker in San Francisco now. That's rad.
Nice. Maybe can she send us like some free sourdough?
Yeah, I'd take some of that.
Yeah.
I do remember the karaoke scene because he sings "Somebody to Love," I think, or maybe he sings "One Pill Makes You." No, it's "Somebody to Love," because he's like, "Wouldn't you like?" He does this like yodely thing.
Sounds about right. Okay, so those are all the
That's it for
voicemails.
voicemails?
Yeah, right.
Come on, guys.
I left 2 questions open as options.
Little
And-
disappointed.
And yeah.
Maybe it's because we didn't say the number enough. Here's the number you can call once again.
Which is, John, do you got that?
I got it.
Okay.
872-762-4763 or 872-7MAGPOD.
Yeah. So the question of the week was 2 options. You could answer one or both, or in Daniel Sterrett's case, neither of them. What is your favorite acoustic record, and or what band would you like to release an acoustic record? So one that I found compelling was from Josh Montgomery. He said well, one album that he did like acoustic was Unwritten Law, Music in High Places, and what he'd like to hear is an acoustic album by Joy Electric.
Right.
So Joy Electric does have an album called Unelectric, which is still rather electric.
Right.
And also, as I pointed out, produced by our boy Mooney.
The man.
Bob Moon.
The man, the moon, the legend.
But I do think, so there is this Tooth and Nail podcast that...
A current one?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's...
Blowing my mind right now.
It's actually kind of cool where they talk to different artists. It's called Labeled, and they address different artists on the Tooth and Nail label and interview people. And I think I told you about, because they had this 2-part thing with Stavesacre.
Oh, yeah.
But they did one with Joy Electric.
Cool.
And Ronnie Martin talks about how pretty much all of the songs that he did started out either on an acoustic guitar or on a piano. And I think a proper acoustic album of Joy Electric songs would actually be pretty sweet.
That would be
and he's
cool.
got one hell of a discography, so he could do. Would have a lot to choose from.
Yeah.
So I co-sign that for sure.
Yeah.
Somebody else said Yellow Card acoustic album is awesome, as is the new Face to Face acoustic album. Love some Face to Face.
Yeah, I didn't know that existed, but
Yeah,
it
just came out. It came out really recently.
Cool.
And then shirt size small. I
Yes.
don't know her name.
She's very active on the socials, though.
Yes, she is. She's awesome. She says the electric guitar is one of the most amazing sounds ever, so I've just never liked many acoustic records. Although, with the Nirvana Unplugged album released, I wore that tape out. So, agreed. Damnesia by Alkaline Trio, by Josh Aguilera, and he's a fan of Dan Andriano's voice.
I think sorry, go ahead.
No, what were you going to say?
I think we need to go back to your response to shirt size small.
Oh.
Which was hot take, as in I don't like acoustic music. That's a very.
Okay, sure. So yeah, what I'm saying is, the hot take is that, since the electric guitar is amazing, it's almost like who gives a shit about the acoustic guitar?
Which makes up like a lot of music.
Yeah, it is.
That's a lot of music to just hand wave.
It is. It is. But
I want to know more about your thought process.
Yeah.
Shirt size small.
Shirt size small.
Shirt size small. I definitely don't disagree that the Nirvana Unplugged is great, but to name it as like the lone folky acoustic album of all time seems different to me.
Yeah. So
anyway,
I would. I think I can defend that position. I guess a little in that. As somebody who grew up almost exclusively listening to punk rock,
Speedwood. You started with the roots, man.
Yeah.
Don't forget your roots.
You're right. You called me out, busted on my own podcast.
Hey,
anyway,
it's every day for me, according to Mike.
Poking at your punks, Brandon. The Tony Slide Joey Cape original split acoustic album is pure gold. Can't disagree with that.
I don't know that at all.
Okay, Tony Sly from No Use for a Name.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And Joey Cape is from Lagwagon.
Ah.
And they did 2 albums, I believe, where they each do an acoustic version of their songs, and kind of like maybe 5 and 5. I think the first album they did 5 and 5 each of some of their band songs, and then maybe a new or unreleased album or unreleased song.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, both their voices are so distinct and so great, and Tony Sly still missed.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I guess that's all that we got for the question of the week this week. I guess we will need to come up with a more compelling question.
Yeah. Keep your eyes peeled.
Yep.
Keep your dial and finger ready.
That's a weird thing to say.
Pretty normal, I think.
It's a very normal thing to say.
Get your dial and finger ready. Give us a call.
When you're drinking the Best Life IPA,
you know you want to call 8727 MagPod.
You got one finger. You got one hand on your beer and the other hand on the phone with your dial and finger ready.
Sounds dirty somehow.
Get your fingers
got
out.
one finger.
Got your one finger in your beer.
Oh, brother.
Oh boy. Okay, so let's get into Punktoberfest.
Let's do it.
A little bit. So the event was last weekend on Saturday, and it was 12 to 9. And it was
for some people 12 to 1 for others of us.
Exactly.
1 a.m.
Yeah. I was there for an hour.
Yeah, it was a sweet set.
I heard about it. It was awesome. So it was billed as like this, family-friendly thing, and I think for the most part it was.
Yeah, I saw a lot of kids.
Yeah, there's a lot of kids there. A lot of kids hanging out, staying pretty late. There are definitely some kids up front watching Mike perform, which is pretty cool. But I got there well before most of the crowds started showing up.
You texted me a picture of you and a table.
Yeah, you said something about gonna get the mosh pit going, and so I texted you a picture of me by a folding table saying that I was gonna fuck it up because that was all that was there.
Yep.
But I was just hanging out and really digging the music because whoever put together the playlist, it was pretty rad because it felt like the playlist I would put together pretty early on. I heard Wrecking Hotel Rooms by MxPx. I'm thinking getting people ready, getting people in the mood. But then they played some Face to Face, Teenage Bottle Rocket, Descendants, Bad Religion, Anti-Flag. It was
all our dudes.
It was solid, and so I was feeling pretty pumped about it. And at one point, Brian Buchelt showed up. I don't remember if I think Starrett. Yeah, Starrett showed up first before Brian showed up. So I think we should we'll listen to the first little clip of me and Daniel Starrett. I was just doing some on the, what would you call this, podcast?
On the fly?
On the
Pod on the fly?
Pod on the fly.
I don't know.
What are we doing now? From poking at you the plans and everything in between, this is Magnified Pod, the only podcast that discusses culture, religion, politics, and the entire discography of everyone's favorite left coast punks, MxPx.
Yeah.
And I am standing here with podcast listener Daniel Starrett, and we're drinking beers and enjoying Punktoberfest in Tinley Park, Illinois. So, how you doing, Daniel?
I start off, I just got to say, y'all blow.
All right, so fuck this guy specifically. We will never play any of his voicemails ever again.
Oops.
But right now, we've been hanging out, drinking boots full of beer, hanging with Brian Buchelt, who is working the merch booth. Mike is on his way, and we both lost at bingo. So
It was rigged.
it was rigged. I had like almost every space filled, and I still lost. It was bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I had almost everyone filled on the second game.
Yeah. So we're drinking the pain away, but there's more bingo? Oh, yeah. There's 2 more games.
And you got crayons.
Yes, we were both. Oh, yes.
Are you signed up for the pie eating contest?
I am not.
I look like I'd be good at it, but
People, so there's a good chance you could win.
So I think that might be Brittany coming in. So
she called him Crayon Dan all night. So.
Yeah, because he had the. I don't know if you heard, because he said he had the macaroni and cheese colored crayon.
He did in fact participate in the pie eating contest.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay.
Wait. Okay. So is there?
what's the prize for winning her?
I'm podcasting right now, so sorry.
Oh, you're podcasting?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, because I was standing next to her and I was holding my phone up in the air, so I felt like I needed to explain myself as to why I was standing so awkwardly with my phone like up
just
near
what I do
near her face.
I love the phrase. Sorry, I'm podcasting.
I mean, obviously, that's what gets
our life.
That's what gets all the chicks. Oh, don't sorry to bother you, baby. I'm just,
sorry.
Sorry, I can't talk right now, babe. I'm podcasting.
Ooh, he's so dreamy.
When you want to get all the girls, grab yourself a Best Life IPA.
Get your finger in a podcast.
Get your finger in that pothole. Okay, let's keep going.
Sorry, am I interrupting?
No, you're part of the podcast.
Oh, hi guys. I'm famous now.
All 12 of us
I
who
love it.
listen.
So the grand.
Fuck you, Sarah.
So there's 2 more games of bingo. The grand prize is 2 tickets to the Bears game on November 11th. So 11/11. I think
Nice.
they're playing the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
Is the grand prize.
I have to like bring you because I don't know anybody. Well, I have cousins.
Are you? So you're saying if you win, you'll bring me?
Sure.
How many tickets are there?
2.
There's 2 tickets.
Potter don't get no ticket. He's not even here
Yeah,
yet.
Potter doesn't get any tickets.
Here we go. The apple pie eating contest.
She's
it's
like,
free
okay.
to enter. Space is limited. You win a beer a day for an entire year.
Holy shit!
I mean, that is a pretty solid prize. I mean, I don't know why more people weren't getting involved, but
Yeah.
I don't live here. I live in Cleveland.
We'll have it shipped
Could I give
to
that to
you.
a friend or something?
You can probably transfer it to
Oh,
a
we'll
friend.
figure something out.
Answer it to the pod, Dan.
All right.
yeah,
So-
right.
Should I do it?
Yes. So Starrett is going to enter the pie eating
I'm
contest.
gonna have to have no more beer before that.
Yeah. So Starrett is going to enter the pie eating contest. He's going to have, if he wins, he will have his beer for a year shipped to him.
Maybe.
But until then, we are going to keep drinking until the next bingo game. And Potter will show up whenever Potter shows up.
Potter sucks.
Potter, until Tiger Jack reunites. Right?
Yeah, the fans are demanding Tiger Jack here right now.
Hashtag the people demand it. Come on, Potter.
So this is just kind of par for the course for the remainder of
This
the day.
became the theme of the night, including from Mike.
Yeah.
Including from the stage.
Yes.
Well, now, what I said in response was that if anybody knows about responsibility and breaking my neck to give my family what they need, it should be him.
It's true.
And I was like grocery shopping, putting my kids down for naps, and these guys were maybe getting beers for life and just yucking it up.
Yep.
I wish I could have been there.
I mean, I think I was at that point I was already
Feeling good?
I was already well through working through a second boot, I think, at that point.
Yeah,
As you could probably tell.
a little bit.
I mean, but in addition to that, it was loud, so needing to talk over the noise. The next day, I need to note that I definitely had that day after a show voice.
Oh yeah,
Where you're just like, you sound like the Best Life IPA spokesman. Your voice is down here.
Yeah.
And so just like we're all gravelly from screaming and talking
Right.
at elevated volumes for 11 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe the next segment is Starrett preparing for the pie eating contest.
My flask with the Westside Archive sticker I wanted to sign.
All right, Daniel Starrett is about to engage in a pie eating contest.
He did get Mike to sign that flask.
He did.
Danny Stairs, that is. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling like I'm going to lose.
Why are you going in with this feeling super negative?
I haven't listened to enough MxPx, I guess, to get that positive vibe going.
All right, well, we're hanging out and talking with Mike, so is that not enough for you to feel encouraged and pumped to start eating some pie?
You know, I'm going to do this for Mike.
Do it for Mike. Just go to town on that pie and think about Mike the entire time.
I will be thinking about Mike the entire time. I'm shoving my face, my whole mouth full of Mike is what I'm going to be thinking about.
Yeah, this is Mike's pie. Hashtag Mike's pie.
That is not a hashtag that anybody will use.
Oh, man.
So I'll say this. I don't know if we get to talk about the pies at all, but I think it was like an apple,
Right.
maybe apple peach or something,
Yeah.
which I think that's what it was. And it sounded good, but Starrett said
it was not good.
He said it was like the most, flavorless store-bought pie kind of. And I smelled it, and it didn't even have any sort of like pie aroma coming off it.
Do you want your contest pie to be like delicious? Would that help?
Yeah, I think so. If it's like a dry kind of
Like a Pinot pie?
yes, I want Anchor Valley sponsored Pinot pies at all of my pie eating contests.
We later definitely discussed Anchor Valley sending us pies with Mike.
Yeah,
he
we
just
did.
kind of smiled politely.
Like, hey, that episode, right? Remember that?
Remember
that
the
joke?
pies?
Yeah, let's keep going.
We are, again, live. We are not live. But I'm going to say we're live from Punktoberfest,
Remote.
350 Brewing
That's
in
better.
Tinley Park. And how many boots are you in? Are you only one boot in?
Just one boot in, leaving room for this pie.
All right. Yeah, I'm starting on my third boot. So I'm feeling pretty good. John is still not here. He's explicitly been called out by Mike for not being here, and Danny Stairs can testify to this.
That's true. Mike was like, the fuck's up with John? Loser.
Yeah, he
He didn't call you a loser.
Well, he kind of did later.
he was putting him on blast. So, yeah, we've been hanging out with Brian Buchelt, with Jared Scott, and Mike, and John is MIA. So
is the theme.
we'll get back to the deets here momentarily after the pie eating contest, and we'll see what the results are.
So I do have a full video
Yes.
of the pie eating contest.
We
might have to post that. But actually, what happened? Starrett was on the far end, like the head of one side of the table, and there was one dude to his right, and then there was and then somebody to my left. So the dude who was to Starrett's right was actually doing rather well.
How many contestants were there?
Maybe like 15
Okay.
or it was like a pretty long table.
Okay.
So there was one dude who, I think it was Brittany who was telling us later,
Yeah.
was like talking a bunch of shit, talking all cocky or whatever. And this was the guy who was to my left.
Okay.
I don't remember if I got video of him or not, but he was the guy who started throwing up a bit because I think he had already
bit.
been. Well, he was like, it was pretty gross. I won't go into too much detail, but like,
Oh man.
he didn't full on heave, but he was getting that like spitting up a little bit, but it was super gross. But anyway, Starrett was housing it. He was doing really well. Like, he had a good, you could use your hands. So his method was sort of like wadding it up, trying to compact it, which I thought was actually a pretty good method. But
aren't you supposed to get it wet or something?
well, that's the thing. They didn't have water or anything. So I offered Starrett my beer to try and help wash it down, which he didn't use. But there was this guy across from me, to Starrett's right, who was eating everything, but leaving that little bottom like layer of the pie.
Right.
Like the whole, like, not getting the bottom crust part.
It doesn't count.
And he was like trying to pretend like he was almost done, and everybody was like calling, like, fucking guy, no,
Yeah.
gotta like take care of that. But so, and then there was this woman down near the other end of the table who beat Starrett just if he had another like 15 or 20 seconds, she just barely edged him out.
He got second place, right?
Yeah, but that's nothing. Second place was nothing.
Right.
But he was actually super close for somebody who was not confident going into
way
it.
To go. You gotta get it wet and use your hands. That's what I was saying.
350 Brewing, get it wet and use your hands.
Yep.
Okay, I don't remember. I think this next segment
is post pie.
This is post pie, but I think this is when you had finally showed up.
Oh, okay. Little bagpipes.
So we are hanging outside of the 350 Brewing show. We are anticipating Flatfoot 56 coming on any moment. John has just arrived.
Yeah.
About goddamn time.
I hear Mike has been busting both of our balls in my absence.
Mainly just
Specifically
mine.
your balls, because I was here before Mike, and Mike was like, "What does it say about John that I'm here before he is?"
Hey man, I break my neck to give my family what they need.
Okay, so I already said it.
What I'm saying.
What if we asked you to give blood, though? If we asked you to give blood, what would you say?
Blood, I'll bleed. I mean,
All right. So John is going to get in the pit and bleed tonight. So we are literally standing next to porta potties,
yeah. This is where I feel comfortable.
and the punk rock is going right now.
Yeah, it is.
So we're gonna get down with some of this Flatfoot punk rock. John is gonna try and meet Mike at some point,
Obviously.
and we're gonna see. Oh, they're just sound checking, I guess.
Yeah, that's first.
So
Sounded good.
Sounded pretty rad. It's gonna be pretty dope. So we will check back in a little later
With Mike.
with Mike. We're gonna have a exclusive
Yep.
with Mike Herrera
No, we won't.
Sort of.
and get all of the questions answered that we've always wanted to have answered since we were 13.
Yep. There's a lot of them.
There's a lot. And okay, bye.
So we did end up talking with Mike later, but
For hours.
for a long time. But like when it came time to like actually ask questions,
I wasn't prepared.
I was not prepared. Like I felt like all the questions I wanted to ask were dumb.
Yeah.
And my main thing, and I talked to Brian and Jared about this, about like, just my main thing was like, I didn't want to come off as like a spaz.
Yeah.
Like, because, after following a dude's career for
Right.
20 plus years and never meeting him, you just sort of build up the moment, and it's like, I don't want to be like, hi,
Right.
and just like be a total dork about it,
Here's what I'll say. So when you first met him, he literally did ask, "Hey Andrew, where's John?"
Yeah.
Which put me in a place of feeling more vulnerable than I expected to. He knew us by name.
Yeah.
He referred to us as, he was talking about songwriting. He's like, "Well, you guys are songwriters, He talked about like specific takes we'd had on things, and I was like, "Oh, I need to like recalculate my brain for this. So I was trying to just, when we first met him, it was a little bit of the like kind of awkward saying niceties at each other.
Yeah.
And then later we hung out for a long time,
Yeah.
just among the small
Got a little bit
MxPx
more
crew.
relaxed.
Yeah, we actually had conversations with him, but I didn't want to make that into like our interview with him, although he did explicitly say, whatever questions you guys have, you should ask me now, which I maybe blew by saying, our only question is, can we get you on the pod for an interview? And he was like, nah, maybe. No. I don't like to commit to things, which is fair enough.
I don't remember who it was, but I seem to remember there being somebody, I don't know, saying maybe we shouldn't ask him
That sounds familiar.
to do that.
Well, he was like, think of your questions and he was like, let's go to a quieter place. And we were talking.
And you blew your load on
I just want to interview you. And I was like, well, that's our question. This is the entry point into it. Later, we'll ask all the questions.
Right.
Trying to say, I don't have any prepared necessarily off the dome. And he wasn't feeling that necessarily. But
which
I
is
don't know.
fair.
It's totally fair.
I mean, like, because we literally just came from a situation where you cock-blocked a fan who wanted you to ask Mike if Mike would sing Chick Magnet to her.
Right.
Which I said to you, what? That doesn't make... So in this situation, is she the Chick Magnet? Is he singing about himself to her? Because he, like, it was a...
She just wanted him to serenade her.
Yeah,
and
which is super uncomfortable. And I think you probably endeared yourself to Mike a little by shielding and also being like, this ridiculous person just asked this. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Well, that was a natural segue. We joked on the last step about how we were going to talk to Mike about our fanfic.
Right.
And then ended up
we actually
literally doing that.
We literally talked to Mike about fanfic. And by the way, Stare It brought a hard copy.
Oh, God. Did he have Mike sign it?
I don't know. No, he gave it to Mike.
What? Why?
I don't know.
Mike was probably just like, what the hell later. He probably just threw it in the trash.
Well, I really hope he gives it to Yuri.
Oh, man.
Because the listeners don't know.
No. There was a twist ending.
There was a
Yuri got his comeuppance.
Literally.
I didn't want to go there, but... we teased Mike that there was a twist involving Yuri. Anyway, that he kind of said, stuff like that happens a lot with.
He said something about some fan gave him something weird.
He said he got a very explicit letter at one point, which I was like, we're talking fanfic now. Well, we'll get into more Mike stuff, but quick shout out to Flatfoot 56 since we just heard their sound check. They were great. And
they were really cool. And they're a Chicago
Christian Irish punk band.
Yeah.
Formed in like 2000.
Yeah.
Really seems like they should have been on our radar.
I honestly don't know how they slipped under my radar because I love Irish music. I've talked on. I think I've talked on the pod that I love Irish trad music and Irish punk music, and I don't know how that just didn't.
Yeah.
Because this seemed like something you and I probably would have gone to when we were in college together.
Right.
That we probably would have gone to one of those shows.
For sure recognize their name, but I've never seen them or anything.
Yeah, no, me neither. But they're also boys with Brian Buchelt.
Right.
So you should check out Flatfoot 56. Brian has directed at least one of their music videos.
Yeah, also at least one dude, the singer from Flatfoot 56, was in Both Ends Burning, talking about MxPx, which Brian directed.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Stutter. So if you guys want to go to YouTube, check out the Flatfoot 56 song Stutter, the official video done by our boy Brian B. All right, let's check out this next segment.
All right, so we just finished listening to Flatfoot 56 and their set, and they crushed it.
They're pretty great.
It was pretty great.
Andrew got in the pit, mixed it up a little bit.
I got in the pit. I would.
So let me say something about that. I'm a 34-year-old man who hasn't been in a mosh pit since I was.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Since I was in my 20s. It's
Wow,
easily.
that long.
It's been since I've been. Yeah.
I'm honored to have shared the moment with you.
Yeah. It's been.
I got to hold your boot, bro.
You did. You held my boot.
I thought you were cheersing me, but you were like, "Hold my beer."
Yeah. You cheersed me, and then I was like, "Hold it. I'm going in."
You've misunderstood.
I'm going in.
The pit calls.
Yep. When you want to go into the pit, have your bro hold your beer.
Yep.
Silver City Brewing.
When the pit calls to you,
you take your finger.
put your finger in there.
You answer the call.
This is the best bit.
Is this a is this an episode of Best Bits?
Yep.
So I got in the pit and I quickly realized why I don't go into mosh pits anymore.
Yeah.
I was so sore the next day, and it's also really tiring.
Yeah.
It is. It's
like exercising,
it's
but getting punched while you're exercising.
Yes, it's pretty exhausting actually. But it was actually I got knocked down. And this is not a Chumbawamba song.
Did you get back up again?
It's funny because I said that to Dana, and she said the exact same thing.
Chumbawamba jokes.
Chumbawamba jokes. Super relevant. It's always relevant to talk about Chumbawamba. No, but this is what I like about certain punk rock communities. You know, I lost my footing and fell over, and someone immediately helped me get back up
right away. That's
and I continued to mosh. I did that at least twice during Flatfoot, and it tired me out both times.
I would say I started the pit. If I said that, I would be a liar.
Sure.
But
More importantly, we just got done with a momentous event.
we did. John and I both met Mike Herrera for the first time in our lives.
He said he loved the pod and listened to every app, and no, he did not. But he did know our names, so that's something.
He did. And it was a pretty big deal. And we're getting ready for Mike to come on stage and also play on stage. And
Ha 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 ha.
Oh, I didn't even. I wasn't even taking it there. I don't know why.
This is my 3 beers in jokes.
I can only assume he's gonna dedicate a number of songs to us, and I look forward to that.
Kind of did.
Little did we.
Yeah.
Little did we know.
Probably the more romantic ones, and then
it sounds like there's a MxPx song playing right now.
Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah, excited about those acoustic versions of the new record songs.
Yes, they're priming the crowd.
That's right.
With some new jams from the new record.
I feel like I blew it with Mike a little bit. I was really hoping to come in just like guns blazing, like super charming, and I failed in that regard.
In the goddamn refrigerator.
Nailed it.
Cool dudes.
Super cool. Cool dude alert. Pew, woo.
And
Well, you know, the thing is that it's not Friday.
it's true. Saturday tonight.
It's Saturday night.
But anyway, it wasn't terrible, so maybe an interview with him is still a possibility someday.
If John didn't blow it too much,
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
All right, well, we're gonna go stake out our front row spot here.
Yeah, stare it. Sterrett, what did you think about Flatfoot 56?
Yeah, all right. They're all right.
All right, get the fuck out of Chicago. How dare you? You want to try that answer again?
They were okay.
Oh, God.
Coming from people who didn't really know who they were until today. That's a real bummer of an answer.
Yeah. All right. We'll come at you momentarily.
So, we're very clearly feeling pretty good at this point.
Vibing on Mike.
You're vibing on Mike.
We'd locked eyes with the dude.
What do you remember what you said to him?
Nothing meaningful.
You didn't have that sort of that moment of like music playing in the background and just locking eyes. And
No. That dude's handsome. I don't know if we've talked about that in the pod ever, but
have we talked about it?
He looks into your eyes.
Yeah, and you feel like Mike is sort of like the sun. You have to look a little off.
Look directly
you have
at
to
him.
look off center of his face.
Shielding my eyes and looking only at the neck tattoos.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bust who I was talking to. I was gramming with somebody, and they were saying that. And I didn't know if I could believe it, but it's true that they were saying how much more handsome Mike is in person. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
And when I was like, all right, well, it's a true thing.
Yeah.
But
I think we pulled it together, and
we
later
did.
we kind of had better conversations.
Yeah, we did. Once we sort of like chilled out for a bit and felt a little bit more relaxed, and we're like, oh, he's just a dude, he's just a regular dude, and that kind of helped a little bit. But so this last little bit here is at the end of. Oh, you know what? Why don't we talk
about his set?
Yeah, why don't we talk about the set?
Yeah.
Kind of run down what he played. As they say, I got that 20/20 hindsight.
Right.
I should have asked Mike for his set list. I don't know if he made one, but it would have been, if I was not a dumbass, I should have asked for it, because I had to cobble together from memory and from Instagram the songs that he played.
I think it's pretty close.
I think I might be missing at least one or two, but he definitely, from the new album, he definitely played all of it in Let's Ride.
It's super fun to hear those.
Yeah. I didn't expect him, since it was a family event, I didn't, that he
Right.
and I think
Friday
he did
tonight.
talk about how he was
did.
not going to play Friday tonight because, yelling "goddamn refrigerator" at a bunch of kids might not be the best.
There's a few stories he wanted to tell, he said, but he refrained.
Yeah, but he did talk about drinking. Like,
Yeah, he did.
he said, he's like, kids, don't, I know you can drink tequila when you're 21, but don't drink tequila till you're like 30. Which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah.
It probably went over the heads of all of the kids.
Right.
But I thought it was pretty funny. He played Tomorrow's Another Day, My Life Story.
I believe My Life Story was the one where we got a little dedication because he was talking about being late.
About being late. And then he said that he called out that I was early and on time, and that he called you out being that you were late. You were later than he was. Or
He
something.
said, Andrew was here on time. What about John? Where was he? And literally, like, the crowd was like, oh, and pointed at me. And I just shrugged and looked at him, and he was like, just kidding, or whatever. And I'm like, oh, man.
And this
From
was
the
like
stage.
From the stage, John was getting busted left and right all night.
Yeah.
Heard that sound, and Ace is up, and
Heard that sound, we should mention.
he played with Josh Caterer from Smoking Popes.
Yeah, which was super rad. I mean, hearing that song live was great. Hearing Josh Caterer live was great, and then having him do the harmonies on there was the best. We also got to meet Josh a little bit.
Well, there's a story about this. So this is linking together a couple things that happened. So I was wearing So I bought an MxPx shirt with that I'm wearing right now, the Punk giant head T-shirt. And I didn't think I would need to wear it, but I ended up needing to because I saw the woman who won the pie eating contest, and as she was walking by, I held my hand up to give her a high five, which I did, and I'll say she was a sturdy woman, and she gave me a very firm high five, which caused me to stumble and spill some beer on my white shirt.
That was a bummer.
So I was like, shit. So
You became that dude.
I became that dude who wears the shirt of the band he's singing. So I actually went to my car where I had stored my MxPx shirt. I got in my car and sat in the front passenger seat, took off my shirt, and put on my new shirt. And I saw there was a dude in the car across from me, just sitting there. And I don't know what he was doing. Maybe thought he was either getting ready to leave, or he was like, I don't know. He was just sitting in the driver's seat. And I got out. It took me like 30 seconds or something. I got out and went back inside. And it was the end of the night after Mike had finished playing, and we were like, oh, we saw Josh Cater. Well, you'd seen him. You're like, let's go see if we can get a picture with him. Mm-hmm. And we're like, and he was talking to some other dude, and then we saw him finish the conversation. He started walking away. I went up and touched him. I said, hey, can we get a picture? And he said, hey, sure, yeah, it's fine. And then he said to me, oh, you're the guy who was changing a shirt in his car earlier. And I was like,
your nips.
I was like, he didn't say that, but that was subtext. But I was like, oh yeah, that was you. He said, yeah, I tried not to look. We took a picture and then he walked away.
I have any number of connections to him, and like he's been an important figure in my life, like lead singer of a legendary Chicago punk band. / now he's a worship leader at a church.
Right.
Very much in our wheelhouse of things to discuss.
Let's get him on the pod.
Yeah, I know people who know him well, and I was just like, I thought about being like, hey, we have this podcast, and it's about this, and we know some of the same people, and I was just like, I just don't want to go there, but super nice dude.
Yeah.
He later posted the pic I took, gave me a shout out. Smoking Popes have a new album coming out next week, or this week. So check that out.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
So I just need to say this right now. So it was maybe around this time that Daniel Starrett led us to his car. We were expecting him to murder us, but what he wanted to do was share some local bourbon.
Yeah.
Well, I guess technically not
Kentucky.
bourbon. It's whiskey, I think, maybe from his area that he wanted to share. But he said he had two things for us. One of which was he wanted to give us a sample of this bourbon, which we both gladly took a swig from his flask. So we were sitting in his car drinking from his flask, and which he got signed by Mike later. And the second,
Mike wrote, "Let's drink."
Yeah, he did. And the second thing was he gave me that MxPx Poconache Punk slip mat, which I gladly took because I'm assuming you don't have a record player.
Somewhere. But yes,
Yeah.
you should have it.
I'm holding on to it at the moment.
Very nice gesture on his part.
His very nice gesture. But then but he wrote y'all below on the back. But the final thing was he printed out a logo, our logo, and had us autograph it.
Right.
Which was sort of a kind of a humbling kind of thing.
It's like, are you sure?
I was like, yeah, but he just posted on Instagram. He says, just have to figure out where to hang the crown jewel of my MxPx collection.
Well,
with a photo.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
When he explained it, he said he's got a whole wall of like MxPx related content. So I was like, okay, like I can hang with being part of the sort of MxPx extended universe.
Yeah.
He wanted to complete the full puzzle.
No, yeah, I think it's cool that he includes us. It kind of includes us in in that world, and Mike actually thanked us.
Yeah, he did.
For what we do, and that felt kind of affirming.
Yeah.
That this kind of labor of love is not overseen by the people that we spend hours and hours
Our lives talking about.
It's sort of become a part-time job.
Yeah.
So it felt sort of affirming to hear Mike say that, and for him to so graciously spend so much time hanging with us. He was very generous with his time.
He's just a nice dude.
He is a nice dude.
And same with the 350 crew. I mean, by the end of the night, it was really just us and the MxPx crew and the 350 crew hanging out in the factory, and everybody was offering us drinks and hanging out, and super fun.
Yeah,
so,
if we both didn't have to drive an hour plus,
I know.
then,
Leading to further ball busting from Mike.
I know. Yeah, you got the brunt of the ball busting and the harshest of it. But
it was like, I got little kids, man. You know how it is. And he was like, yeah, being a dad. And I was like, oh boy, another hour and a half.
We were literally in the parking lot, and then he's like, "Oh, do you guys need water?" And then we stayed longer.
Yeah. I kept turning down beers because I was like, I'm leaving, and then I was like, I wish I would have had like 5 more beers.
Yeah, we felt kind of like nerds that we were just like, oh, we can't, but like we don't live there, and somebody sober has to get me home, and that person is me.
Yeah.
So, and side note, this entire day that I was gone for 11 hours was my wife's birthday.
Yeah. So, when you told Mike that, he was like, oh shit.
He's like, I'm the most hated man in the world right now. No, but Dana was super cool with it, and she was super happy that I was able to meet him and have this day. So
that's awesome. Jenny, meanwhile, at like 8 was like, where are you at? And I was like, 6 more hours away. I'm leaving soon. Which I thought I was. It was not to be.
That's this is not a wife comparison thing right now, but
sorry, I didn't mean to make it like that.
No,
I'm just saying she wasn't like, go have a great day. She was like, I don't understand why you're still there.
Yeah, I mean,
she fully supported and was very glad for us.
Yeah. I wish part of me is like, why if I thought like or planned ahead, maybe like it would have been cool to just like find a hotel in the area or something, and then just, but another time we have.
Okay, let's finish the set list.
Yeah. Oh, the set list. That's right. That's what we were doing. So I said,
Aces Up.
I heard that sound. Aces Up.
Aces Up was super cool to hear.
Yeah. I really like the acoustic version of that.
I had not listened to the Acoustic Collection really at that point, so I didn't really know what I was getting on that record. Then I was like, oh, Aces Up. We just heard this.
Yep. And then he did a Tumble Down song. He did Let's Drink.
Super fun. I'm excited for our Tumble Down coming up.
I am a big fan of that first Tumble Down record. Oh, I think it's really solid.
Not the second one?
I like it. I think I like the first one the best of the two.
Right.
And then inexplicably, I think because beer,
I think so.
he did the Cheers theme song.
I thought maybe he'd do like a little bit of it, but he did the whole thing.
No, he did the whole song. And I guess that's fine when you're doing a brewery, beer festival. But then part of me was like, you could have used that, minute and a half or 2 minutes to, I don't know, play any one of the actual cover songs that you've done from your cover albums.
Especially when he told us later, when we were talking about Teenage Politics, that he had planned to do
Teenage
Politics at the show.
Yeah, and I said, like, I'm like, look, I told him I thought that Flatfoot had a longer set than him, and considering Flatfoot is a Chicago band and he's out of town, I feel like he should have had a little bit longer of a set. Yeah. I would have been okay with him playing for an hour, a full hour.
I was surprised it was
as short as it was.
Yeah.
And I was, and at least 2 times I screamed "Study Humans."
Did he ever acknowledge that?
No, he said I mentioned it to him after, and he said that he didn't hear. But he actually,
that would have been amazing.
He likes "Study Humans."
Okay. Right.
He's mentioned it on a past Mike Herrera podcast. That, he likes. That's one of the
it just would have been really weird if he was like, every day I go to school. You're like, you do not, sir. You are old.
And then we would have talked about Bremerton Bry. And we could have. That would have been.
That was the question we should have asked him.
Well,
What's to do with Bry?
What's to do with Bry? Did you ever get down with that? You ever give her the old mustache blanket?
Oh boy.
Okay.
So he closed his set with
"Doing Time,"
which was awesome.
Yeah.
And well, spoiler alert, was one of maybe among my top 3 from the Acoustic Collection.
Samesies.
Yeah.
Or getting a little spoilery here.
That's right.
But we'll say this: his version on the album is different. Than how he performed it and how it's written on Life in general. So speaking of closing it out, let's hear a little bit of "Doing Time."
Solid harmonies from us.
Saturdays, while we're staying up that day, Lane was trying to fit in. Lane was a rock crowd, let me in.
Sorry, I couldn't help but sing the whole time. You would have done the same thing. Was that Starrett?
I think it was.
He's feeling it, feeling that moment.
Yeah. I think there was a person separating us at this point.
Oh, we need to talk about that.
I'm alright. Thank you so much.
Yeah, 350.
Yeah.
Hey, Starrett. So MxPx literally just ended. How you doing?
Good. That's great.
So MxPx, Mike Herrera just ended. How you feeling?
I could have used a little goose fraba.
A little goose fraba?
It was good though.
No, hey.
It was great. It was really, really fun.
Yeah! Brian! Woo! Remington Brian!
So you're shouting at Brian there.
We're shouting at Brian Buchelt. Brian and Jared were taking video and photos respectively through respectively and respectfully.
Yeah, just
throughout
the kind of
evening.
dudes they are.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine Brian taking some video and being like going up, hey, fuck you, during the middle of his set.
Nice picture, asshole.
Yeah, so we were shouting at Brian, who laughed at us as we were yelling at him.
Hey, Starren.
What's up?
So John thinks we need a little more Goose Fraba. What do you feel?
I could have used a little goose brava.
Yes, Goose Fraba. All right.
All right, so we were all really feeling the whole set. It was really fun. Mike was really engaging and funny, and there was one little bit of the set that was not so great. So let's opposite of goose. It was goose nada. Nailed it. So let's just put this day in context. So Kavanaugh was just confirmed, and we were all sort of bumming hard.
We did talk to Mike a fair amount about it later.
Yeah. So keeping in mind that sort of sexual harassment and inappropriate, unwanted touching and advancements are
quite the setup.
Well, there was this woman who kept grinding up. I can't speak for what was going on with you, but I think she was, because my back was to her.
Right.
And she was grinding up on me. She also grabbed my ass at one point, and I didn't talk to her or acknowledge her.
Yeah, I had a hard time because she could turn around and look at me.
Right. So I just tried to ignore her, but I was just like, this is not cool.
Yeah.
Like
she was not sober.
She was absolutely not sober, but I was just like, man, this is not my favorite thing at the moment. So
she kept saying to me, "Are you afraid? Are you afraid?" I was like, "No."
Then I thought she said something to me like, "Do you want a short Chicago girl?"
Oh,
like
that sounds right.
Like, no.
Question mark?
No, not a question mark. Yeah. So, but after that, it was sort of, we didn't see her for the rest of the night, but it was sort of harshing the vibe.
Yeah. She will not be on the pod.
She is not welcome to the pod.
Yeah. If let's see, what else should we talk about? I mean, Mad Caddies performed after that.
Mad Caddies.
They were good too. We were
Yes.
not super present for that, but it was fun.
No, we weren't.
I mean, yeah. What else should we like? Mike and Brian each had some hot Kanye takes.
Yeah.
Which Brian said we might need to resurrect the Kanye corner.
Well,
when we talk to him soon.
Yeah, we are going to be talking to Brian at some point.
Yeah.
When that is TBD.
Yeah.
But he's a fan.
He's a fan, as is Mike.
Yeah.
So all our jokes about like, oh, Kanye's going to produce the new MxPx. I mean, Mike had thoughtful takes about Kanye's production and stuff, and I was like, oh, closer to the truth than
yeah.
I thought. I also think I owe our listeners a correction based on our conversation with Mike, which is that I claimed Andy Husted was a co-owner of Silver City, which is not in fact the case.
Yeah,
correct?
no, I remember bringing that up with Mike, and I said something about Andy and Silver City, and he's like, Andy who? I
mean Andy Hugh?
And I think I kind of gave him this look of bewilderment, like,
What?
like, what other Andy is there? And he's
Yeah.
like, Andy Houston? I was like, yeah. And he's like, no, he isn't.
Well,
Just sort of matter of fact, like, no. He said something like he had like some sort of beer thing for a short period of time a while ago, but
okay. Well, I failed everybody.
yeah.
So little.
I mean, I feel like Andy, since you've been sitting in the room this whole time,
Yeah.
that might have been an appropriate time for you to speak up and say something.
Sorry, guys. I'm really polite, and I don't like correcting people.
But you kind of made us look like assholes.
Yeah, but I did brew some other beer. I promise.
Well-
I'm the co-owner of something, I think.
Okay, well, that settles that.
Come on, Andy, get it together.
God, Andy. So
Yeah. If you, here's my closing thought, and you're welcome to other thoughts that are not closing. But if you would have told me when we started this crazy adventure that
Yeah.
we'd be talking MxPx producers who made the albums that formed us as kids, and
Yeah.
hanging with Mike for hours, and,
yeah,
I would not have expected that to be the case. So this has been a fun ride,
Yeah.
and I thank you for bringing me on it.
dude, it's kind of bananas, that this one thing that I never thought anybody would listen to, is talking to the movers and the shakers, and that everybody's super cool. That's
Yeah,
what
for
I
sure.
love. That's what I love about the MxPX community. Everybody's super welcoming and warm and kind,
Yeah.
So
It's been really fun to just kind of, and I feel like there are so many people who are way more extensive in their MxPx knowledge than we are.
sure,
Like
absolutely.
once we get exposed to the like real fans, I'm like, oh, and it's been very cool to be accepted as sort of a late arrival or a leaver and a returner to the fold.
Yeah.
Super fun this year. So
Yeah. It's also one of those things where we're kind of victims of location.
Right.
Like there's so many people who've lived on the West Coast or in Washington, and
yeah.
we just don't have that same kind of access
Right.
that everybody else has had. So but we're looking forward to if and when they return, and
He said they would, and that's all we got out of him basically.
yeah, we got
No firm commitments.
we
To the podcast
to the
or to the
podcast.
Chicago area. I was like, what's up with those tour dates, bro? And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, coming to Chicago. And he's like, you mean full band? And I was like, yeah.
can you? I mean, we enjoy the solo.
This is cool too. But,
This is cool too, but
Yeah,
Frank-
full band, Mike. God.
open your goddamn ears, man. Give us some ears to hear.
Yeah. All right.
All right, so now that we've recorded what could be
An ep on its own.
full ep,
We will move into our next segment. A full record,
full record.
as is our want.
Yep. So we will take a shorty, and then when we come back, we will.
Short Chicago girl, as I always call it.
That's right. That's the second segment. Just our.
This beer is good.
Yes, it is good. And sadly, it is gone. We will be talking the Acoustic Collection when we come back. And we're back.
Yeah.
John, what do you got there?
A little vegan soup.
Nice.
That is one way in which we were not particularly well served by Punktoberfest as a
That is
vegetarian and vegan, respectively.
that is
Yes.
literally accurate.
Our eating options were limited.
As in non-existent.
Yeah. I thought there were pretzels.
No.
There were rumors of pretzels.
There were rumors. I at the end of the night, I saw one lonely, like, rolled gold pretzel on the floor. But that, it was all like hot dogs and other wares that they were peddling. But I was hoping there'd be something. I didn't eat.
You didn't eat all day.
I
just
didn't
drank.
Yeah.
It's amazing that you were as cognizant of your surroundings as you were.
I didn't eat I didn't eat until the next morning.
Wow.
Yeah, because I ate something at like 11 something before I left for the fest, and then I didn't eat until breakfast the next day.
I should have brought you something.
After downing 3 boots full of beer
on an empty stomach
and whiskey.
Yeah, what a great day.
Yeah,
the 350 dudes did.
They did
bring giant trash bags full of snacks at the end.
That
anybody want snacks?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but at that point I was like, I think you ever get to that point where you sort of like circle back around from being hungry to like, you're like, I'm hungry, but I'm like nauseous hungry, and so I'm not hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was kind of experiencing one of those moments.
Yep.
So we're talking, this is going to be a long episode. We're at an hour and 40 and we haven't talked about the record yet. But we had a lot to cover.
That's right. Mike says long episodes are good, and I follow Mike.
Yeah, that's true. We do what our Lord and Savior Mike Herrera says.
Mm-hmm. That was a weird take of his when he was talking about how Christian rock needs more cults or whatever. I don't know if I fully followed that one.
I wasn't entirely sure what he meant, but maybe he was saying like that they had a lot of sway, and maybe they could bring in more people that way, I guess.
I know he just had a dude on his pod who was like used to hang out at the David Koresh compound in the early days.
Damn, yeah.
So maybe that was on his mind.
Maybe so.
You know what's not about cults is the Acoustic Collection.
No, it's not. And we have some of the returning folks coming back. So this was done at Monkey Trench in Bremerton, produced and engineered by Mike, and mixed and engineered by a dude named Bradley Miranda, who I'm not familiar with, but mastered by Stefan Edgerton.
All right. Big Steve.
Yeah.
Famous Bad Religion guitar player.
Can we talk about that just for a quick second? Because so in a previous episode, we made an allusion to, we were mixing kind of different memories about Brian Baker from Bad Religion playing on The Secret Weapon and Stefan Edgerton playing or doing something with the band,
right,
and sort of mixing up who played and who, just and then I, on the last episode, made some lame joke about Stefan Edgerton, since he was in The Descendants, and Bad Religion, he could get them both for a tour. And you just plowed right through my stupid joke. And people are like, fucking, he's not in Bad Religion. I'm like, I know, it was dumb. So we know that Stefan Edgerton is not in Bad Religion.
No. He is great, though. He
is great. He is a bro.
2014. This was released.
This 2014. This was kind of in the time of the MxPx All Stars.
Yeah.
When Tom and Yuri had officially said he was retiring from doing the band or playing or touring or anything. So Mike had brought in some other people to kind of play on tour with him. This album does actually have Yuri and Tom on it doing a little bit of some vocals.
Punk rock show, right?
Yeah, and Yuri does some drums.
Right.
He's part of the percussion side of the record. But yeah, this album, when it came out, as we stated, like Secret Weapon, this kind of era of MxPx was kind of lost on me. The 2012 and later I was kind of not aware of it.
Yeah.
But this, giving this album a listen, I think it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Part of me is wondering about the song selection.
Yeah.
What went into the song selection, because there's only 12 songs, and I think was it four of them are from Secret Weapon.
Yeah.
You're on Fire, Never Better Than Now, Secret Weapon, and Drowning. Nothing from Panic.
No. And I kind of thought Gray Skies might make the cut, but it is on ACEP, so that makes sense.
I actually started thinking about other songs that I would have liked to have seen on this album.
Yeah.
Other than a couple. I do think either, Late Again,
yeah,
or Lonesome Town from the Renaissance EP, which we just discussed, would have been a good, and even I don't know, there are plenty of songs, and I'm wondering if some of the logic behind the choices was to kind of show have some of the chords and the melodies shine through a little bit more and maybe them getting lost a little bit in the fast punk rock, but then having them slow down and kind of letting it sink in a little bit more.
Yeah, I was surprised that there's nothing off of, well, I don't know how surprised I should be, but nothing off of Before Everything and After. Like, again, I thought Quit Your Life maybe, but that's on ACP also. But Wrecking Hotel Rooms off of Panic, like that seems like it could have been on there.
Yeah. Obviously nothing off of Pokin' At Ya either.
No.
And only one Teenage Politics song, but
yeah, I did not know this existed until we started this podcast.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I don't want to be too cranky about the whole thing, but like I'd say overall it's interesting. It's pleasant enough, but I'm largely lukewarm on it.
I don't know what the motivation for the album was, and I think that might inform my ultimate take on it. I do think that there could have been a little bit more effort in kind of the instrumentation.
Yeah.
That it
a little more timpani.
No, like more than just. I know that there are some songs that have drums and some keys and stuff, but I do think getting some maybe different instrumentation, not just having it be a strictly stripped down production, but
Yeah. My understanding is that it had been one that like fans had been asking for a really long time. They wanted it to exist, and so Mike was basically like, sure. So
all right.
With that understanding, I think it makes sense. I mean, this one is kind of, it could have been an EP for me, like, and maybe it has to do with song selection, like you're saying. And I know they did an acoustic EP already, but like, it's a little too many for me, probably.
Yeah.
I will say, this is another like covers, like the covers conversation. It feels very subjective.
Yeah,
like what makes a good acoustic version.
100%.
Like what songs translate well versus just kind of making it toothless, you know, like losing its verve. It almost has to be a reimagining for me.
Yeah.
To work well.
This is, and it's funny because there are some songs on here that are in my top 3 on the albums, but are not.
Oh yeah, definitely.
My top 3.
Yeah, and there's some that are my top 3 here that were not my top 3.
Yeah.
Is that the same thing you're saying, or the opposite?
It's both.
Okay.
It's both. I do have one that I actually have to look back and see if this one was in my top 3 because I honestly don't remember.
Honestly,
it's
missing.
It is missing. I was gonna get to that, but
yeah. I think, I mean, part of what I also learned along those lines is that just doing it slower doesn't always work either, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's a punk song, so let's do a reimagining of it, but if it's just slowed down with one acoustic guitar, like that's not enough for me often either. So
yeah. I agree.
Mike's voice sounds great throughout though.
Yeah, it does. And I like that he didn't do the same vocal. He didn't sing it the exact same way.
Right, yeah.
He did reimagine some of the vocal lines. Go ahead.
I was just going to say some of the ones that ended up working the best for me that I didn't necessarily expect were the ones where they kind of added in like a bass drum and kind of like made them into more like kind of stompy songs. Those I really like.
Samesies.
So maybe we'll have some crossovers here.
Why don't we just get into it?
Let's do it.
All right, we'll start off with the closer of the show, but the opener of the Acoustic Collection, Doing Time.
Well, I remember times I had. Some were happy, some were sad. Memories me and my partners in crime, throwing up 1,000 times. Well, I got through it, I feel fine. Went to school and did my time. Innocent, I'm out, innocent, I'm free to do what I wanna be. Fun was cartoon Saturdays. Fun was staying up best day. Yeah, lame was trying to fit in. Lame was the wrong crowd letting me in.
Sounds great.
My number one.
My number one.
Yes.
Yep.
See, we're feeling each other on this one.
That's phrasing. So one thing I want to talk about is the new addition to this song that was not in the original.
Never did homework after school, never bothered. Did all the things I thought were cool. Find my father. Yeah, I went out every Friday night. Not so often, but I still
little more grown up.
Yeah.
What does he say about being a father?
I think he says defied
Defy.
my father.
I thought he was like, now I'm a father. I don't go out as much.
I tried to find the alternate lyrics online, but I couldn't find them. But it sounds like he says defied my father.
Yeah, I think you're right. It sounds good though. I like it.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder. So this edition was not part of the new re-recorded Life in General, rather.
Right.
So it makes me wonder, like, if he's not gonna do it live when he does the song.
Yeah.
It's a curious addition.
Maybe he did it just for this and was
like it.
I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's like a one-time thing, but I like it.
It's cool. I mean, it feels very much like a reimagining, like we were saying.
Yeah.
Like it's a fresh approach. I think what makes it for me is the way the opening chords change, where he adds in the like, ding, 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 ding,
Yeah.
ding, which is like,
yeah.
I mean, it sounds kind of like the ding, 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 but I appreciate it as a new approach to the song.
Yep. Samesies. Into it. So next is Tomorrow's Another Day. We have Emily Whitehurst from Tsunami Bomb making her comeback.
Yep.
She's on 3 songs
Yep.
on this album. She was also did I just say she was on the cover too, or did I forget to say
You said
that?
she was making her return, but
Making a return,
yes,
yeah.
that's
So
what
she
she's
was
returning after.
She was sang on Heaven Is a Place on Earth on the cover too, and she's back. This is the Morning Zoo crew.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to let my life fly by. Do you ever stop to wonder why? Time flies by when everything is okay. It just turns out that life ain't that way. Big decisions overwhelm me, and I know nothing's free. When I don't think about much, people die and we don't know why. I could use some understanding, human contact, sign that contract. I don't want to let my life fly by. Do you ever stop to wonder why? Ever stop to wonder why?
I think I said this on the Cover 2 episode, but I think her voice works really well with Mike's voice.
Yeah.
And I think she adds a lot to this record, and I do think if Mike just dubbed over his own harmonies on every song, it probably would have sounded a little repetitive. So I think the introduction of her into a few songs really changes it up.
Yeah.
And I think it sounds really good.
Yeah, I think she works better for me on the other 2. And that may be just because this one for me feels like it's a little harder to translate.
I agree. So I went back to some of the albums and listened to the originals after listening to some of these, and it's really hard to improve upon this song.
Yeah. I love this song, but I don't know that it needs to be an acoustic song.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, I know they have the drum kit in here, which kind of helps in the sense of like making it sound like the song, but again, I feel like it would have been better to just kind of completely blow it up and start anew. So
yeah, I do think her again. I do think her voice sounds really pretty, but it's I after going back and listening to it on Buffalo, I was like, oh, God, this song is just so good as it is.
It sure was fun singing. There's nothing quite like being sure of what's inside your heart at the show.
Yeah, it's true.
Felt good.
Yeah.
You and me, Riker. We understand each other.
That's true. You guys Bros in a Pod. You're on fire.
You're old enough to know it's not your fault. Strong enough to face your darkest conflict. But now you've woken from your nightmare, and now you're fighting back. Nothing could survive when you attack. This road to healing hurts more than anything. Now that you're on fire, your voice is like the wind. Now that you're on fire, let life
Sounds great.
begin
It's
again.
like a bonfire.
Now that you're on fire, a new day has begun.
Can't help myself.
Now that you're on fire, you are like the sun.
So, this song.
You're standing in the burn of time. I wish Emily Waiters would have done that.
Yeah. This song.
Spent some time along this lonesome road.
So I do think this song, the acoustic song, improved on some things and not on others.
Yeah.
So our boy Louis D. Fabrizio, who did the background vocals on
Right.
Secret Weapon, added so much to the song.
Yeah.
And added a texture to the song
Yeah.
vocally that we're not familiar with
Right.
in the
Yeah, I
MxPx lyrics or vocals.
Mm-hmm.
And it was striking enough that it stood out, that it made the song unique. And was this one of your...
I don't think it was in my top.
Oh, it was
maybe
Angels.
It was.
Angels
Definitely was. I mean, it's one of my favorites from that album
Yeah.
for sure, and it is
And-
not one of my favorites here.
No, I find myself singing that vocal harmony when
Yeah.
I listen to it because it's so noticeably missing
Right.
on the song, and excluding the sort of echoed megaphone sounding vocals
Yeah.
was a good decision.
I lied. It was my number 2, so I do like that song.
Okay, yeah. It was. It's a good song, and
I think it's another one that's hard to make the transition for me. Like you're saying, the production is a lot of why I like it on the album.
yeah,
And here it's just kind of like, I don't know if like Stripped Bare, it's my favorite one. Although that riff is great.
yeah.
But yeah.
It is good. Speaking of favorite songs that don't do much for you,
Yeah, agreed.
I want someone to love, a girl that when I think of will put a smile on my face. Smile on my face. I wanna hold her hand, want her to understand. There's got to be a better place than this world. This is the best time of our lives. Shouldn't be thinking about that now. To turn the world around and let it happen every time. I want a lot of things.
so we both had this in our top 5
Yeah.
for Let It Happen.
Yeah.
And this is not
In our top 3.
Not in my top 3 on this
No.
album. It leaves so much to be desired.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There's just something so magical about the Let It Happen version.
Yeah.
That I just don't think it can be recaptured.
Yeah, it's just, again, I don't know if it's the kind of song that's built to be done this way, in my opinion.
Also, I don't know if this for you, but for me, this kind of drives me nuts. The ending.
What's that? Yeah.
It doesn't resolve.
No. Leaves you wanting.
It doesn't resolve.
How does the original go? Does it resolve? Does it fade out?
No.
Let's find out. Shall we?
We shall.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Oh shit.
Let's just listen to Let It Happen. Alright, how does... kind of slows down. Well, they resolve it on the right chord, though.
Yeah, they do.
What are you up to, Mike?
Yeah,
what are you trying to do here?
I have no idea.
A little acoustic, so it's got to be kind of minor. It's like, ooh, this is profound.
No. You just can't. You can't fix perfection.
No.
Yeah. So that didn't do anything for me.
No.
Kind of similar to this song.
Yeah, never better than now.
Though hearing it on this album and listening to the lyrics, I think I understand the song more.
The ballast has come down and left me angered and afraid. It's not how I was made. My head inside my knees. If I can't think, then I can't breathe. I just wanna leave this place at last. When you live, you gotta live large. Let the world know who's in charge. There will never be a better time than now. Never better than now. Never better than now. There will never be a better time than now.
So when my understanding of what the song meant, and listening to it now in the Acoustic Collection, I was like, oh, I was a dumbass. My understanding of what it meant was like, nothing's gonna get better than now.
Right.
But it's about there's no better time than now to, make, to go for what you want.
Gotta live large.
Yeah. And so it's like, oh, yeah, that's obviously a less cynical understanding of the song.
Yeah, I would say this is one that does translate well. Like, it's a good re-approaching to the song, but it's just kind of boring.
It is.
It's a kind of boring one for me to start with anyway. So
yeah.
Making it slower and longer doesn't really do a lot for me.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the song structure and the chord progressions are nice.
Yeah.
And it sounds nice.
Yeah.
I would say I actually prefer it as an acoustic song.
Yeah.
But that's not really saying much because I didn't really like it on Secret Weapon to begin with.
I think I'm with you.
Yeah. And for an interesting choice off of
yes, indeed,
of Life in General.
My moth still cleans her.
Are we still doing moth jokes? Is that meme dead yet?
No, never. Just like moths.
Not always nice, not always mean. My room has never been so clean. The way I feel is not always how I seem. The thoughts that form inside my brain don't always seem to entertain. 'Cause when I tell my company They think there's something wrong with me. You don't know me like you think you do. You don't understand me, and it's true. Getting older day
What do you think?
It comes off a little silly to me. Like, it feels very Life in General.
It does.
And to do it sort of as a emotional acoustic version as a grown-up feels a little bit like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It just didn't quite make the transition for me. What do you think?
I'm kind of in agreement. It's fun to sing along to, but I think hearing Mike as an adult man saying, "You don't know me like you think you do."
Yeah. Or I guess that I'm an okay dancer. Stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like we're being negative. We're gonna take some positive turns soon.
We will.
But like,
And I'm not saying that I don't like.
Sure.
This is again like the cover songs. It's very subjective to each individual.
Sure.
What they think makes a good transition from an original to a cover or an original to an acoustic song.
yeah, I think every song he played when we saw him do acoustic songs
Were great.
Were great.
The set that he had, it was a tight set and a good selection. I think if he did those, 'cause some of the songs are on here, but not. He didn't do. He didn't do heard that sound.
Yeah, which he could have.
He
That
could
would
have
been cool.
That would have been cool. It wouldn't make sense. My Life Story isn't on here either.
Yeah,
That
which was
would have
also
been-
great.
That would have been a better option than maybe Never Better Than Now or Drowning, which is nearly 5 minutes long.
Yeah, it's real long. I think the new songs translate particularly well.
Yep.
To acoustic
Agreed.
songs. So
Agreed. Secret Weapon.
You've always had some trouble with authority, but that's the way that growing up's supposed to be. You can't make it through, you gotta believe that you are your own secret weapon. It's all up to you to come out swinging. It's all up to you. Take back the stolen years, the truth will set you free. Don't lay down and lie, shut down the fallacies. Throw all of your fears into the sea.
Needed to get to that part.
yeah, real good.
Yeah, this is a very close number 4 for me.
Okay, is my number 2.
Okay. Damn it. I was really hoping we...
It's pretty close though.
We were going to be on...
A hundo %.
Yeah, I was really hoping we could have gotten a hundo. So this was very close for me, but the one thing I really love how I think this song, what would have made it easily in my top 3 was if they translated that Brian Baker guitar to
into
anything.
something.
Because that's one part of the Secret Weapon song that kicks so much ass.
Yeah.
That is noticeably absent. It's the equivalent to the You're on Fire harmony.
Yeah.
It's so clearly missing that if they could have done like a fiddle, get someone in to do a fiddle, because this song is a bluegrass
country
stomping,
tinge,
you know, and it would have been perfect,
Yeah.
and that would have made it a easily top 3 for me.
I agree with that. This one, I mean, I like this song. It wasn't on my top 3 from the album, but I really like it's in my top 3 here because I feel like you're saying, they were like, what's going to make this work? And kind of like I was saying, having the like, dum, like turning it into kind of a country version really works for me.
That's why it would be my number 4.
Yeah,
It just,
right. That makes sense.
Gosh, and it was my number 1 for the Secret Weapon album.
That's right.
And I remember you saying that it's just like, for the album, it just feels sort of like kind of a boring, you know, sort of not like, but to me, it just felt like such a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
That they could have taken that shredding solo and done something.
Yeah. Well, challenge extended, Mike. Yeah. Next time you do a solo acoustic show, bring a fiddle player on stage.
Do you know how badass that would sound?
That would be really cool.
That'd be
doing the song live in general would be really fun.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Drowning.
I feel like I'm drowning when I listen to it.
I like this guitar line.
Just kidding. I know.
It's just pushing 5 minutes. It's a bit much.
Switch the light off, go to bed. There's no more room inside my head. The world around me slowly fades away. As I close my eyes and think, the shadows blot my memories of all the things I've tried and failed today. Please don't go. To me were true, and the face that I saw wasn't really you. I feel like drowning deep down in the sea. I feel like drowning. Don't bother coming after me. I feel like drowning. Way down in.
Okay.
That's enough.
That is enough.
I agree. I do think this is a pretty good translation. I mean, taking like a blisteringly fast song and making it very slow, almost a lullaby acoustic.
Yeah.
Works, but it's kind of boring. It drags a little.
If you did this song live, it would be such a boner killer.
Yeah. If it was a little faster, I think it would work.
Yeah, you need to cut a full minute from this song.
Yeah.
It works for an album. I don't think it would translate live at all.
Yeah. Too slow and quiet.
Yep.
Whereas the original song is a jam.
Yep. It's really fast. Buildings tumble.
Waking up is hard to do when no one loves you. Years pass by, that's something you have gotten used to. Some of us are dumb and blind and out of our minds, walking past each day through fields of landmines. Let the weak say I am strong.
number 2.
Cool. Yeah, I think this works really well.
Yep.
It's a good translation. I think Emily Whitehurst sounds really good here.
Yep.
The little breakdown is cool with the acoustic bass solo.
Yep.
It sounds really good.
The harmonies on the chorus are just killer.
Yeah.
And on the album and in this version too.
Agreed. I like this one.
All right. Not much to say other than nailed it. And he didn't play that.
No, I don't think so.
He should.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that song works really well if you have someone doing background vocals.
Josh Cater could have
Josh
pulled
Cater,
it off.
he could have easily, because he did this one.
If you push yourself away from everyone you know, well, how do you expect relationships to grow? You feel like a character inside a book that ends in a disaster. No happy ever after. No, 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 no. Just deal the cards and hope that you get aces. And when you play your hand, put on your poker faces. 'Cause life just don't deal aces. You may have to bluff sometimes.
Sorry. Perfect until the last note.
You may have to bluff sometimes.
I think this works really well.
It does, for sure. Yep.
This is one of my favorites when we saw him do it.
And was my number 1 on the album.
That's right.
And you weren't into it. So it's
I am into it.
No, I mean, we'll have to go to the tape.
I am into it. No, I don't remember what I said, but I like it. It's a good song. It wasn't in my top 3.
No, but maybe that's what I mean by saying you weren't into it.
Not into it with the appropriate amount of enthusiasm.
Yeah. I think it translates really well. I think it needs to be in any and all MxPx show rotations, acoustic or not.
Yeah. Wait, isn't this is on Plans, right?
Yeah.
It's not in your top 3.
Are you sure?
Nothing Left was number 1. In the Past, number 2. Far Away, number 3.
Did I?
I think we both like it, though.
I think we're going to need to go to... I was just going based off memory.
Yeah, you got to do a little research. Find out what the hell is really going on here.
Yeah, this is that's weird. I could have... Maybe I was thinking of Secret Weapon again.
It could be. Opening track.
Maybe I was thinking opening track.
I think we can all agree it's a good song.
Yeah. Well, I'll need to... Well, I can pull it up right now and find out.
Sure.
No, we don't need to do that. For Always...
Each other out along the way, maybe everything will be okay. Who decides if you'll succeed? Who decides those things you want and need? Looking back on all these years, all the smiles, all the tears, never want those memories to fade. What have we done? What can we do? We search our whole lives for the truth. We're always and always and always.
honestly am a little bummed that they left the Honestly's out.
Honestly, I agree, but it's my number 3.
It's your number 3?
Yeah, I really like this version. I think it works really well. It's got kind of a minor, I don't know. It already had sort of, I think we touched on this in the Slowly app, but there's kind of a melancholy to some of those songs, and I think that comes out particularly strongly here. But yeah, no, honestly not interested ending.
It's weird because the 2 Slowly songs on here, it's like I would just rather listen to the Slowly songs.
Sure.
But there are some versions of the songs on here I'm like, oh yeah, I actually prefer this to I like it. It's just, I just feel like it's missing something.
Sure.
And it missing something that makes it a little bit unique, or be like, or pop, or sound a little bit.
Another fiddle.
Need fiddles.
Fiddles aren't always the answer.
Harmonica?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Glockenspiel?
Ooh, yeah.
You know, something, I don't know.
Hurdy-gurdy?
A squeeze box?
Yeah.
Get Weird Al on the cut.
That might be cool, actually, an accordion sound.
Yeah.
I could see it.
Yeah, it's a great, I don't remember if did either of us have this for our top 3?
I don't think so.
No, because I know it's one of Mike's favorite songs. No, neither of us had it.
Should have asked him that.
Yep.
Why?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
And by process of elimination, my number 3.
Yeah. Close for me. We had a punk rock show or Ooh, it's a hoedown. Yeah, this works great.
We ain't got no place to go, so let's go to the punk rock show. Darling, take me by the hand. Gonna say a punk rock band. There's no use in TV shows, radio, rodeo. I wanna get into the crowd and I wanna hear it played real loud.
Oh, those gang vocals.
Yeah.
They sound great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tom cutting through the mix.
Ain't got no money to pay. We'll get in anyway. Doesn't matter, I don't care. It's so good, so we should share. We're going to the punk rock show.
Yeah, it sounds so great.
I love it.
It sounds. It's just a bunch of dudes in a room.
Yeah.
And it makes me happy, and I like the foot stomping and the bass, the walking bass.
Sounds really cool.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, kind of that upbeat strum. That sounds great.
Yeah. So it was like I said about Secret Weapon, the Secret Weapon and Punk Rock Show kind of have that similar
Stompy,
vibe.
Yeah.
And if there was a fiddle or something else to replace the guitar solo, it would have edged out Punk Rock Show. But it's also on the shorter end of the songs on the album too. So it's like it hits that sweet spot of doing different and still being short.
Yes.
So I think they kind of nailed it.
I wasn't sure going into it. I was like, punk rock show, what's that going to be like? And then I was like, oh, this is great. I wonder how often he does that as part of his solo shows, because I could see that being a good closer regardless of it being full band or solo.
Yeah,
but
I think I was kind of surprised that it wasn't. And Starrett said that Doing Time is typically the closer for the acoustic.
It is a great acoustic.
Sure, but Punk Rock Show has the full crowd participation.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe it's harder to pull off without. I mean, he could kind of knock on his guitar and get the stomp sound, but maybe it's tougher without a crew.
There's clapping.
Yeah, there's clapping. They could have got the Mag Pod guys up there, and we could have
gotten. They could have gotten, Jared and Bouchelt to get up there and put their.
We'll get it anyway. I could have done that, Mike.
It's true. Yeah, what the hell? But Tom just sounds.
Red blade, real
Classic Tom.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's nice to hear Tom after an album without him.
Yeah.
11 songs, no Tom, and then I'm like, there he is.
Yeah.
Right? Or did we say he's earlier?
I don't think
Who
he's
knows?
on anything.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's the only thing I see him on. That they got Emily Whitehurst on 3 songs, and then Mike Moen,
Mikey Mose.
he
know
was
who
the
that
dude
is.
who was on Chop Shop on
Oh,
Secret Weapon.
Right on.
Somebody call the cops.
That would be the guy. That would be an interesting.
I had the same thought. I was
Acoustic.
like, will that one be on here? I could see that working almost in do it in a completely different.
Well, it would be, as I said on that episode, it was a very tumble-downy song and once you do a dive into the tumble-down songs, you'll be like, oh yeah, this makes a lot more sense.
I'm excited for it because I vibe with that sound.
Yeah, the cowpunk, because there's on their empty bottle, they got some more Louis D. There's they have a song called Arrested in El Paso Blues.
Perfect.
And then let's see, The Butcher of San Antone is the song.
Sounds like Chop Shop.
Yeah, the song that I think of when I think of Chop Shop, that it would have vibed with this album a whole lot more.
We'll dive into that at some point.
Yeah. What are we even doing
next
episode? Because we have a invitation out to.
Yeah, might be talking to Bri.
We might be talking to Brian Bouchelt.
In case that doesn't happen in time, maybe we'll do Left Coast Punk.
But we said we were going to talk to somebody else for that.
We did. Could try to get that together.
We could try and get that together.
Or something else entirely.
We could do...
At the show, people wanted us to do.
We could also do Broken Bones.
Yeah.
We could do Broken Bones are at the show, which Broken Bones is only 4 songs though.
Yeah, we need to do a couple, I think, if we did that one.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
So we're gonna leave people hanging with nothing.
I mean, that's how you get them to come back. What's gonna happen next week? Tune in to find out. This might be a new record for us. 233.
This might be.
We're hitting some new heights here, folks.
Yeah, we are.
Thanks for hanging on.
You're welcome.
Should we wrap things up?
Yeah, we should.
Well,
let me get a. All right.
So you can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at MagnifiedPod.
That's correct.
You can email us at magnifiedpod@gmail.com.
Email us.
Email us. You can rate and review us. Hit us with some reviews. We need a few more of those.
Yeah, or just keep changing the same review that you've left.
I know you're listening to whoever you are. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah.
Should we go through them all?
Spotify.
Yep.
iTunes.
Correct.
Stitcher. Podbean.
Yeah.
Google Play.
Right. YouTube.
All
those places.
Yeah.
Leave us a voicemail at 872.
Yeah.
7 Magpod.
7 Magpod.
And on the next episode, we'll cover perhaps an interview with a cool guy. Perhaps a different interview with a different cool guy. Perhaps a live album, a couple EPs. You never know.
Yeah.
We'll have to find out.
We do what we want.
That's right. My mom still cleans my room. You don't know me, and we do what we want.
Yep.
Whatever we review, it'll be about time for podcasts at our house, and it wouldn't be the same without you. So join us, won't you?
Got no place to go, so let's go to the punk rock show. Darling, take me by the hand. Gonna say a punk rock band. There's no use in TV shows, radio, rodeo. I wanna get into the crowd and I wanna hear it played real loud. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Ain't got no money to pay.
We'll get in anyway.
Doesn't matter, I don't care.
It's the good, so we should share.
We're going to the punk rock show. Rock. Pick it up, pick it up. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I'll take this moment to talk about Best Life IPA.
When you're at the punk rock show,
crack open an ice cold one. Take me by that finger. Stick it in your punk rock beer.
There's no use